Every moment that you have an experience, you're quite literally experiencing an alternate reality. Things have changed. Now the assumption is that things change within the same linear, consistent reality, but that's not actually true in my experience. So it's not that there is one reality within which your molecules actually move around, so to speak. We're not in the one same linear reality within which the objects move around independently. Every change is a complete change. Every change is a complete shift. Every motion, every movement is a completely different reality. That means that there's many different realities between my hand being over here and my hand being over here. But consciousness can configure those realities, or can view those realities so seamlessly that it seems like it's one continuous reality, when in fact I'm in one reality, 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 etc., constantly, consistently. That, in a nutshell, is the idea of parallel realities. Now, one very important thing that comes with this understanding is that your sense of time starts to become completely different. When you really understand the concept I just briefly touched upon, and I'll explain some more, the thing that disappears is linear time. It doesn't completely disappear. It can still be there. It's still there, but you see that it is an illusion. You see that it is a projection. You see that it is an agreement. The idea that there is linear time is an agreement. It's not an actual physical, mechanical, energetic fact of the universe. So the idea of parallel realities brings with it the idea of nonlinear time, or from another point of view, you could say timelessness. The fact that there is no linear time. So everything that ever existed has only appeared to or inside of your consciousness. Just like the entirety of your dream at night, even though it may seem out there, even though it may seem like you're visiting actual places, it's all happening inside of your consciousness. Reality is exactly like this. So you've never experienced, no one has ever experienced, no consciousness has ever experienced a reality outside of its own consciousness. That's because there is none. There is no reality outside of consciousness. There is no projection, there is no experience outside of consciousness. Or another way of saying that is, nothing exists independent from consciousness. Objects do not have beingness. Appearances do not have existence on their own. They depend on consciousness. Just like the experiences, again, in your dream at night. They don't have beingness of their own. They don't have existence of their own. It's not that they exist and you go visit them, and then you leave and then they still exist. You project that you're going somewhere, but that's all happening inside of absolutely still, motionless consciousness. So you are the center of the universe. That's the basic idea, that's the basic realization that you can have. There's not just one life that you can live, that you are living. You're not stuck in this one life. You never have been. There's infinite parallel lives that look very similar, and there's infinite parallel lives that look nothing like who you are today. And my intention is to help you understand that you can become therefore anything you desire to become. And you are not stuck in the conditioned reality that you have been given by your previous choices and your previous creations. You can understand this principle to such an extent that 6 months from now, if you start to, even if this is the first time you hear about this principle, 6 months from now, even sooner, but I'll be liberal just so that you start to believe a little bit of what I'm saying, because I notice there's a lot of new people today. If you truly understand this principle and you start practicing what I'm sharing, 6 months from now, you will not recognize yourself. I guarantee you. You will not be able to recognize yourself. You will look back upon pictures, you'll maybe see a video of yourself, and you'll be like, oh, who's that guy? Who's that person? What do they have to say? You'll start forgetting things, which is a good thing, by the way. because it allows for so much space for new things, you see. Imagine that. Tune into that. And it will become reality. Imagination is your most powerful tool. It is consciousness. Imagination is consciousness. It is real. You can't imagine something that is not present inside of existence. You can't imagine something that doesn't already exist. So whenever you imagine something, that exists. And it's just waiting for you. Where? Not even half a centimeter away from you. It's right there within the same point of your consciousness, which is the meeting point of all of creation. It's the center of the universe and all universes that coexist with it. There is no distance between this reality and that reality. Between $10 and $10,000. Between a partner and no partner. There is no difference between that reality. There's no distance. They coexist within the same 0 point, within the same singularity of consciousness. So all that it takes is a different vibration, and it will start to manifest itself for you in terms that make sense to you, meaning that most likely, although you can have these experiences as well from time to time, but most likely it will do it in a logical way. But you don't have to worry about that. It will just do that for you. Meaning that, okay, suddenly this person shows up and asks you to go to that concert that you just imagined going to. They have a spare ticket or whatever. So now you go, oh yeah, wait a second, did I create that? Yes, good answer. Or was it just coincidence? Did that person just happen to walk into the room, have spare tickets, and ask if anyone wanted to join them? So you will make it viable. You will make it, is that the word, viable? Like believable, like plausible to yourself through means of inserting certain things into your reality one sequence at a time, obviously, because that's how we're conditioned, that there's linear time and that this comes first and that. You can't just jump from this to that. So even if you are imagining this, you will generate a sense of some kind of time in between now and then, which is great because you can learn from that. You can express things in that time lag, in that time gap. But the way to close that gap faster and faster is to realize and understand that reality Z is as far from reality A as reality B is from reality A. Why? Because one picture has nothing to do with another picture.